What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Bethann and Samantha, and we are back after a long break, a much-needed
rest and relaxation.
Little schnoozeroo from work.
Snoozy, a little breaky break.
Yes, we decided that we were going to take two and a half weeks off, and
did you see this?
It was what?
I can't bust them out like that. I'll tell you later.
All right.
So what are we doing?
So today we were going to be talking about the two books, Home Before Dark.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Sagrathon.
Yes, Home Before Dark and House Across the Lake. Because if you guys remember early on in our podcast, we read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. And we had the most trouble with it because it deleted like 47 times and we had to re-record 47 times.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty bad, actually. And the more that we recorded it, the more that we got annoyed with the book, so we didn't think that we gave it a good enough chance.
Right. So we were like, let's give them another chance. And so what this podcast today was supposed to be about was talking about these two books. But we have discovered that our reading tastes do not align with Riley Sager.
Yeah, and we don't want to get on here and, like, not, like, crap all over it or anything like that, but we just, they're not bad. It's just not something that we, like, want to be reading, personally. And he doesn't write for us as an audience.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because there are a lot of, like, booktubers and stuff that I watch that love the book that I read, House Across the Lake, which we drew straws to see which one would get what book, because I think our problem was originally that it wasn't paranormal enough. And so we decided to go online and find the books that were actually paranormal. And these books are paranormal. They are actual, like, horror, thriller books. But it's just not done in a way that we think is, I don't know. Like, the thing with Riley Sager is if you love a good slow build-up to a punch-you-in-the-face, bloody-your-nose twist,
yeah,
that comes out of left field that just passes you out, Riley Sager is for you.
Yes, and we do have a lot of coworkers that read Riley Sager, and they love the books, so.
And we would recommend these to you, for sure. Like, I think that you guys would really, really like them if you love that kind of surprise, and if you don't want to anticipate what's happening next, because, honestly, there's no way that I would have ever dreamed, because it's just like Lock Every Door. There's no way that you would have ever dreamed that what the endings were is what they were.
Right.
Like, you don't anticipate it coming at all, because he is so subtle, it's almost like you have to, like, take a sieve out and, like, catch every minute detail to be able to get to the end of these books. So, you know, it's probably, like, a 2.5 or a 3 out of 5 for me for this book.
Yeah. That's kind of how, because she read House Across the Lake, and I read Home Before Dark, and, like, by page 50, I should be, like, getting into the book.
Yeah.
Really, I should be getting into the book for me to, like, get hooked on a book by page, like, 10. So, like, by page 50, I was, like, lost and not clicking with the book. So
and with your book, too, there were some things at the end that still were never explained.
Right.
Which is fine for the ambiguity of it, but for your book in particular, I feel like that kind of lost me a little bit.
Especially when it's not a prequel or, like...
It's a standalone.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing building up or leading to that. And then also with my book, if you like... I was talking to Justin about it, and he said that if you like... Is it Rear Window? Is an Alfred Hitchcock movie, which I'm surprised that I've never seen. This is very similar to that for House Across the Lake.
Or like Woman in the Window, I think it's called. It's a newer movie on Netflix.
Right. It's that-esque. And if you like family drama, if you like intense, like, spousal situations like that, this is definitely the book for you. And I want to say, like, just because we don't particularly like a book doesn't mean that we don't recommend it to you.
Yeah, because these books literally are checked out every day.
Constantly. These are very popular reading material. So don't just take our word for it. We just want you to know that, like, we're a book review podcast, and just because we don't like something doesn't mean that you're not going to like it. And we're not going to spoil these books for you. We're going to recommend them if you would like some interesting, like, thriller. It's more thriller than horror. And we think you should pick them up. And if you would like to have our personal opinions and some spoilers, you should just come find us at the library.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you about it.
But today, since we are not going to be having our Riley Sager-thon, we are going to be talking about our 2023 reads and goals for this new year. So, do you want to talk about like our books that we have picked out, or
Samantha's like on point because she's like a voracious reader, so she already has like a whole list of things picked out for the books that she wants to read.
True.
And I have my goals instead. Okay. So it doesn't matter to me. Like I will do whatever first.
So the first book that I really, really, really want to read, that I think that you want to read too.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is All the Dangerous Things, and this is the second Stacey Willingham novel. She was the author of A Flicker in the Dark, and that Flicker in the Dark we had just read a few months ago, maybe, for the podcast, and we really, really liked it. So I'm going to read you the little synopsis. 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son, Mason, was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly went cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally. Except for the occasional catnap or small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in a year. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of jarring loose a new witness or bury clue, she agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster. But his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. His incessant questioning, paired with her severe insomnia, has brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as second guess who she can trust, including herself. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. So I think that one will be really good, because
that sounds good.
A Flicker in the Dark was really good. I really liked it. Okay, what's your first reading goal for 2023?
My first goal or book?
Book.
Book, okay. All right, let me pull my phone up. It's on here. I forgot my reading journal at home. I apologize. I'm forgetful. I don't have a good F name. Forgetful Francie. Okay, what am I looking for? Okay, so this is gonna sound. No, I'm gonna save that. Okay, so this book is something that I want to listen to, and it's supposed to be like a really like crazy horror book. At least that's what the reviews say. I'm starting really not to trust people in their reviews because some things that they say are horror are just not horror for me. But this is The Last Days of Jack Sparks by Jason Arnott. And so this is the synopsis. Jack Sparks died while writing this book. It was no secret that journalist Jack Sparks had been researching the occult for his new book. No stranger to controversy, he's already triggered a furious Twitter storm by mocking an exorcism he witnessed. Then there was that video, 40 seconds of chilling footage that Jack repeatedly claimed was not of his making, yet was posted from his own YouTube account. Nobody knew what happened to Jack in the days that followed, until now. It is on ebook, audiobook, on Overdrive. We have it here. And I think that the audiobook is only... it's 11 hours. It's a little long. But I think that I can do it. I think. So that is one of my anticipated reads for 2023.
And all these books that we're telling you, they will be in our library in some shape, way, or form, if we don't already have them. These all aren't new to 2023, but some of them are. So you will be able to get these in our library. So my second book is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, and this is about a girl who finds out that her parents have died, so she has to go home to her childhood home and clean up this house and sell it, while she has to deal with her kind of unsuccessful brother. Turns out this house is haunted. So, I think it's going to be...
That looks really good, actually. I feel like I've seen this. Because it's like a little Minecraft-looking type house on the cover.
Yeah.
We should read this for the podcast.
My prediction is this is going to be like the family is haunted, not the house. Like, the family has like a dark past, you know?
We just need it to actually be haunted.
Not likely.
Probably not. But we still should read it for the podcast.
We should.
Write it down. Because I steal all of your ideas all the time. Okay. Okay. I would like to read The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. That's actually another thriller horror. I guess that's the theme for this year. And it kind of, I think it's like a take off of, so Christina Henry writes like spin-offs, very dark spin-offs of like of different fairy tales and stuff like that. I read her Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I would recommend that to everyone. It has tons of content warnings, so just remember that there are a lot of red flags to a lot of the things that she reads. They're very dark and foreboding and sad, and they don't end very well, but they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is like a Sleepy Hollow situation. So when people go missing in the sleepy town of Smith's Hollow, the only clue to their fate comes when a teenager starts having terrifying visions in a chilling horror novel from Christina Henry. And so 2 bodies are found torn apart in the town of Smith's Hollow. And she suspects that the main character suspects that the police will not find the killer. Her father, the year before, was found with his heart missing. And that is literally all that there is, except for a vision of a monster dragging the remains of girls throughout the woods. So I feel like it's going to be fantastic as well. And I want to listen to this one too. I don't want to read it. Shocker. I don't know why. She's the one that wrote Lost Boy as well. That's the spinoff of Captain Hook and Peter Pan. Dude. That was so good. And that one is a horror. It gave me chills reading that one. It was fantastic. And I should never, look at Peter Pan the same ever again.
Peter Pan.
It really ruined Peter Pan for me. But it was in the best way possible. So, The Ghost Tree.
The Ghost Tree. My third book will be Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney, and we are actually going to be having her on the podcast here soon, so you guys will have to join in for that episode. She is a New York Times bestselling author, so it's really cool that we get to have her on the podcast to talk about her new book, which is the sequel to None Shall Sleep.
Which was one of the best books I read
Yes.
last year.
It was 12 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't remember kind of what that is about, it is about a girl who is a survivor of a serial killer who gets recruited by the FBI along with another teenage boy to kind of study teenage serial killers and how their mind works. And she ends up kind of really not connecting. I wouldn't say connecting, but working with a serial killer to stop another serial killer, and it was fantastic, and I can't wait to see what her and Simon Gudmundsson do in this next book.
I thought it was Gudmundsson. You might be right. We should listen to the audiobook and see.
It's probably Gudmundsson.
I doubt it. I'm always wrong. I'd be pronouncing crazy stuff like Susie Braun and...
Susie Braun.
What's his actual name?
Sesebron.
Is it Sesebron or is it Sesebron?
Sesebron.
Sesebron?
Yeah.
I don't think it's Sesebron. I think that's what I say.
No. Sesebron. But Justin and I were pronouncing it Susebron.
Susebron. I don't... Listen. Whatever. Okay, so this next book... What are we on? Book 3? I don't know now.
You're on book 3.
I'm on book 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna... I'm going to clump Way of Kings and Mistborn into one line because they're both Brandon Sanderson. And honestly, I'm just going to take whatever I can finish first. Because Way of Kings is literally 1,200 pages, and then Mistborn is like almost 700.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so impressed with Warbreaker, and I'm so sad because I don't think that anything else is going to live up to my expectations. But I'm so desperate to be a part of the Sanderson universe now that I need to I bought both, okay? So, and I think Kaylee said she was going to read it with me and Ben because I bought an extra copy. So we're all three going to read it, and I don't think I can convince Samantha to do this because Warbreaker was not it for her.
Yeah, it was good, but it was very slow. It was way too slow for me.
See, that's so crazy. It just it was so cool too because it shows our like discrete. We have some very similar things that we like, and then when we really go past horror thriller, then that's where everything just kind of crumbles away, and like we can see our distinct reading tastes. And I think that's so interesting because I didn't think it was slow at all. I thought it was so fast. Like I've never finished. Well, that's not true. I used to read books like crazy. I used to be a Samantha, and now I'm not.
And now she's a
Be
Bethann.
a Samantha. Don't be a Bethann.
Okay, so
shirts, I swear.
My fourth book is House of Earth and Blood, the first book of Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I really, really, really want to start this book like ASAP because it connects to ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I am super excited to see how that connects and how you get like little glimpses of the ACOTAR universe in Crescent City. And Crescent City is more like a modern, I would say,
modern fantasy?
ACOTAR, yeah. So it's like ACOTAR, but modern day.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to read that, and I also want to finish Throne of Glass. I think I'm on book 3, but I had to take a pause from that because I started reading Zodiac Academy, which we do not have, which I'm going to see if we can get because I love it so much, and I think that we need it.
Where's the freaking epilogue? Oh, yeah. I can't recommend this book because we don't own it. Oh, shoot! Okay. Crap.
Crescent City also has a second novel that I will read them in 2023. There's no choices here. It's happening.
No crap, shoot. Okay. Sorry guys, I had one ready and now I just realized that it is literally not something that we own, so I can't even suggest it to you. I'm so underprepared because I think my thing is like I think you go in with like a reading list for the year, and I go in with goals to just try and read.
Yeah.
Because I cannot promise that I'm gonna finish a book because I feel like I DNF books way more than I finish them now, as I'm old.
Have you finished the historical fiction book?
Silka's Journey?
Yeah.
No.
You haven't?
No. I'm over halfway though. It is they're
gonna
sad.
They're gonna rename it Bethann's Journey because this is year 2 of her reading it.
It really is, but it is so sad. I will get like 2 or 3 chapters in and sob. It is so sad. Like I read a lot of historical fiction with sad content in it because I mean that's, you know, the world wars and all these different things, and this one just takes the freaking cake, man. It is so sad.
I think one series that we really need to read for 2023 for the podcast is Truly Devious.
Yes.
Because we've been like wanting to read it, but we've been like finding other like books that have just come out. But I think that Truly Devious is going to be
my 4th one.
Good.
Because I really do agree with you. Because it just falls in the line of some of the things that we like.
Yeah.
And it's so comparable, well, assumingly, or presumably, or whatever the word is, it's comparable to
The Inheritance Games?
Yes, which we love.
Yes, we did love The Inheritance Games. And segueing that like that was my little
deep dive
my little jingle going into this book. The Brothers Hawthorne, also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's her new kind of like a spin-off to the Inheritance Games coming out in August of 2023. And this mainly focuses on the 4 Hawthorne brothers and kind of what adventures they're going on. And I believe this is after the Inheritance Games stuff goes down. So that's going to be really cool because the Hawthorne brothers are like the greatest of all time. So we'll probably definitely read that for the podcast sometime in 2023. We have like 6 months to plan for, and we usually read 2 books per month. So we got about 12 books to plan.
Not too bad.
2023.
A book that I would like to read is The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton, which I can't get my hands on a physical copy. I'm actually not sure why I want a physical copy of it, but I don't know. I was so taken by Jurassic Park. That is such a good book that I would really like to read this one because I've got a thing for like plagues.
Yeah.
I love.
Is it about a plague?
It is. It's about a satellite that falls from the sky and then because it wasn't like sanitized, when it falls, like when they go to retrieve it, there are like bodies laying in heaps everywhere, and they don't know like what's causing this mass chaos and like hysteria and like this evil thing that is killing people. And I'm a big fan of reading about Ebola and stuff like that. I love how it works, so I'm hoping that I can get through that. The only thing with him is that he's super sciencey and he gets really complicated.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm ready and willing to give it a try.
Michael Crichton.
Michael
Jurassic
Crichton.
Park, Andromeda's Strain.
But Jurassic Park, though, dude.
A1 steak sauce.
Yes, 1,000.
Even though steak sauce isn't good, so more like ranch, cheese dip, whatever dips
Oscar's
you love.
cheese dip.
Yes.
Not sponsored.
Sorry. Gotta interrupt Bethann and cut her off because she doesn't matter on this podcast.
That's right. I can't even finish a book, so go on.
No, my last book of 2023 reading goal is Cherish, and this is the 6th book of the Crave series by Tracy Wolff, and I'm reading book 5 right now, and that's called Charm. So, Charm right now is like it's kind of like a novella that's not a novella. It's like a what happened in between time of the 4th and the 6th book. So that's kind of what I'm reading right now, even though this quote-unquote novella is like 700 pages long. But I'm really excited for the last book of the series because this has been one of my like top 5 series. But if this interests you, it's like a teen and young adult vampire supernatural book, and I would say it's comparable to like Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead, or I can't think of any like super amazing. I'm picky about my supernatural books. I feel like I really want to read the Marked series by PC Cast. I used to have all of them, and then I sold them for like a penny, probably. I always mess up like that, okay? And then I want to read the series, and I'm like, oh, I gotta buy it for $547.29.
Very specific number.
No, but Bethann's goal for 2023 is to read Lightlark. That's her goal from me.
Yeah, I am gonna finish that.
It was so good.
I have the audiobook ready to go for that. But the big things that I want to do for 2023 as far as like my goals are concerned is I definitely want to finish all of T. Kingfisher's books. And I think that all I have left are the novellas. And she's interesting because she writes horror and fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I love it. The only one I didn't really like, which is probably controversial, is that I didn't really like What Moves the Dead, which is a retelling of the fall of the House of Usher, which, surprisingly, I don't know why I didn't like it. But she is coming out with 2 other books this year. And I have almost everything completely finished of hers, which, chef's kiss, fantastic. I want to become invested in Sanderson completely, totally.
Sanderson-verse.
His world, yeah, the Sanderverse. I want to read 100 books.
100?
100! I did one year.
She has big goals.
I do. I didn't read that many at all. I think I only got to like 70 or 80 this year, which actually I don't know how I did that.
I don't even think I got well, if you count me reading a book to Samuel every night, I read over 365 books this year. But,
oh my god. Oh my god!
I read him a little book every night, okay?
I mean, I read The Hayden all the time, too. I never considered that, so it's probably well over that, but...
But I feel like we can't count that, because we're adults here, okay?
I don't know. That's pretty impressive.
But...
Considering.
I don't know. I wanted my goal for last year to be 160, but I picked up, like, giant, massive books. Like, the book right now I'm reading is 1,300 pages, and I'm like...
Yeah, but you probably still read over 100 books, easy.
I don't know. I think I read, like, 40.
I don't believe you. There's no way that I read more than you. There's no way. I mean, I read a lot of novellas, though, like some short stuff. I don't pick up a whole lot. I think obviously the biggest book that I read this year was Warbreaker.
I think I'm just so picky about what I read, and I really don't like to read standalone novels.
Oh, I prefer a standalone.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I have to continue the story, or I'll have, like...
See, I feel like that's too much pressure.
Distraught heart syndrome.
Yeah, but what if it doesn't end right? Or, like, you invested all this time and you have to wait. Like, I don't know. I've read a lot of, like, series and stuff, but I would rather just read it and move on. I think because my time is so divided and I have such a hard time finishing things that a series just isn't what... If I read a series, it's good. Like, it's good. You know what I mean?
I think my only, like, irk with series is when they, like, you get to book 4 and they, like, switch main characters and they, like, switch to the side characters. That's when I'm, like DNF a series. Yeah.
Divergent was awful for that.
Yeah, that's when I stop with the series. Unless I just really loved, like, in ACOTAR, they do that with book 5. They switch to the main character's sister and then one of the Bat Boys, they're called. And it's, like, their story. They call them the Bat Boys because they've got wings.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you claim that ACOTAR is very similar to Warbreaker, and I just don't believe you.
It is. It's very similar.
And you didn't like Warbreaker, though.
Yeah, no, it was just because it was too slow, I think.
I'm so sad at that. Doug loved it.
Really?
Yeah, you should talk to him about it.
Oh my goodness.
I
Doug,
sat down there the other day and...
Thought you were going to back me up on this one.
I know. He's like, you threw me under the bus. And I was like, well, listen, I thought you were going to be like Samantha and dip out and like pull a me. And then, unlike every other book that we read is always, but they didn't like it. No, yay. But yeah. Oh, and the only other goal that I have is to finish all my stranded books this year.
Your stranded books?
That's what I call them. Like Silka's Journey and The Trench. Oh. And I've been reading those 2 books for literally a whole year.
Dude.
Or more.
If you go on year 3 of reading Silka's Journey, you're just DNFing it. It'll be like a forced DNF.
I'm going to finish all these books. I really am. And I'm going to do a lot of rereads this year as well.
See, I wish I could I think I can reread some things. Like, I want to reread Vampire Academy because the new movie or the new TV series just came out and it was phenomenal. So I want to reread that. But I don't like to reread books a lot.
It just depends. It just has to be so moving. I think eventually I'll reread Warbreaker for sure. But this year I'm definitely going to do The Hobbit again. I'm going to do Fahrenheit 451. I'm going to do... there was another book that I was going to reread, and I can't remember what it is now. But there are some classics that I just need to...
You need
to read again.
Yeah, I can't do it. I wish I could.
If I could forget those 3 books and reread them again, like, I understand finally, like, what people mean. Like, when, like, they say, like, I would, like, wipe my memory and reread this book. Because I've never felt like that.
Yeah.
But with Warbreaker, 100,000% that I would wipe my mind and reread it all over again.
Yeah.
Every time. So freaking good.
Yeah.
But
that's how I feel about ACOTAR. Dude, I hated on it so much. And then I was like...
Oh, really? Not a fan?
No, I hated on it hardcore. I was like, anybody that reads this is just, like, basic.
Basic?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then I, like...
Trapped!
I was like, I'm just gonna see how it goes.
What all the hype is about, etc.
And then I was, like, in there, like, swimwear after, like, 10 pages of the first book. So, yeah.
I'm glad you liked it.
But you guys should tell us your reading goals of 2023, and you should definitely join us on next week's episode. I think that we are going to be talking about I think books that we read over the break.
These are books that we decided that we were going to like separately bring to the table.
Yes.
Honestly, it's going to be me trying to complete Mistborn in a week and a half because that's the book I want to read, and then actually reading a novella so that I have something to bring to you to next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, God.
I am going to start reading, well, I have already started reading it, but I'm going to finish Charm, and that is what I'm going to be talking about next week. So, Charm by Tracy Wolff. So, yes.
Oh. Gotcha.
You guys need to join us next week for our podcast, and we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and have a great rest of your week.
See you later.
Bye.